present you the main findings from the state of the art in English language teaching, especially in the oral and fluency. Okay, continuing with the first part of this video, the first important learning is that English teaching has changed significantly over the time. Traditionally, language teaching focused only in grammar and translation, emphasize the memorization of the rules. But now that methods change and prioritize the oral communication, interaction, and the use of the language in real context. The second thing that I learned is that in Latin America, especially in Colombia, the level of English is low. Is due to this factor. The first factor is lack of well-trained teachers. The second factor is traditional teaching methods that in Colombia continue to use the traditional method. The other factor is the little exposure to English outside of the classroom, and the other factor is the inequalities between the rural and urban areas. Finally, the third learning is that the role play is an effective strategy to improve the oral fluency in classes. In the state of the art are some studies that show that the role plays increase the participation, they reduce the anxiety, and builds confidence, and the students to use more English during the classes. Also, I learned that the role play helps to a student with these emotional barriers, because taking on a character creates psychological distance and makes the speaking stacks feel safer and more relaxed. Well, continue with the video. I present the connection of my state of the art with the topics that I learned in classes of bilingualism. So first, the first topic is bilingualism and biliteracy. So the role play can support the speaking development, which is essentially to build biliteracy and oral proficiency. The articles shows that the pronunciation cannot improve in context with a high level of anxiety. So the role plays improves a safe space for experimenting with phonological forms and reduce the fear of mistakes. The other thing is that all of the students don't focus on the language disorders, but shows how the emotional factors can block speech productions. Finally, the articles and reports aligning with the English Proficiency Index, which also highlights Colombia have a low level of English. I have other connection with the topics of classes. The first connection is how the people learn their first language. So this is connected with the topic in the state of the art relationship with the interferences of the first language when you need to learn the second language. So when you are learning a second language, you have your first language consolidate, and that means that when you need to learn something new, maybe the grammar or the rules or that you have in your first language could be affect your process of learning. That means maybe if you have only 5 sounds, like in Spanish, 5 sounds for the vowels, and you need to learn 11 sounds for the vowels in English, is more difficult for the learners to understand everything. Or in other way, the grammar is different, so that is the other thing that could affect. I consider that the difference between the vowels, because the vowels have more sounds, is connected also with when the babies start to acquire the language. As you know, the babies starts with the sounds, and the babies can found the difference with the sounds with the sound of their first language and the other sounds, and the babies reacting with that sounds. Well, continue with the other part of the video, how the articles connect with others. So first of all, the historical articles explain why traditional methods fail to promote the oral fluency. We have a lot of articles that explain what is the traditional method and why is not enough to learning English properly. Secondly, the studies on Latin America and in Colombia shows the current challenges and the need to rethink the teachings practice in these places for improve the level of English in Latin America and also obviously in Colombia. The articles on roleplay present an effective alternative for improve the level of English when we're talking about the speaking part, the fluency in the speaking, and reduce also the use of the first language. Finally, the research on emotional explain why the role plays works is directly addresses the factors that inhibit the speaking. Well, finally, we have some criticism of the articles. The first criticism is that many studies use a small sample size, which limited generalizations. The other thing is that there are not many studies in Latin America. Most of them is from Asia, Europe, or North America. Studies from Asia and Africa may not fully translate to the Colombian context, and in many of the studies, the role of the teacher is not examined deeply, and I think this is essential for successful implementation of the roleplay. Well, to conclude, the state of the art shows that the roleplay is a powerful pedagogical strategy from improve oral fluency and reduce the anxiety in learning of English as a foreign language. And so the effectivity of the roleplay depends on the contextual factors, the teacher preparation, and the consistent use of the communication practice. While the studies provide strong evidence in favor of the role play, they also demonstrate that the need of deeper, long-term, and more comprehensive research.